Hello Year 7 and welcome to this video on algorithms. In this short video we're going to look at what an algorithm is and be able to complete a task based on algorithms. So what we're going to learn this week, we are onto algorithms. So we've looked at abstraction, pattern recognition and decomposition, but this week it is algorithms. So let's start with what an algorithm actually is. An algorithm is a plan, a set of step-by-step instructions to solve a problem. All right, so it's basically a little list of how you can solve a problem. If you can tie your shoelaces or make a cup of tea, you already know how to follow an algorithm because you're following steps in your head every single time. So why are they used? Algorithms are mostly used when somebody is creating a computer program. And they write down what that program needs to do, and then once it's all written down, they put it into a flowchart, which we're going to look at today. You might be asking yourself, what on earth is a flowchart? A flowchart is something like this. If you look in the top corner, you'll see all this little coloured picture. This is an example of a very small flowchart. Basically, it's a diagram that shows a process, and it's made up of loads of boxes that represent steps, decisions, inputs, and outputs. A lot more of that on this slide. Okay, so as stated in the previous slide, flowcharts are used to show how a program or process will flow. This table here tells you all of the shapes and what they do. So if we start at the top, the first one is called start and stop, and the symbol is like a rectangle but with rounded edges. And this, you put this at the start and an end of a flowchart. All right. The process is just a little rectangle basically, and it's an instruction or command that says, "Oh, you're going to do this," or "I'm doing this." A decision can either be yes or no. So if you ask yourself a question, for example, "Do I want milk in my tea?" Yes or no, and you'll follow it that way. Input and output. If you're inputting something, so if you're making a cup of tea again and you're putting a tea bag into a cup, you'll use one of these shapes, the slanted rectangles, and you'll say inputting the tea bag into the cup of tea, or outputting it could be pouring the kettle to get the water out. And arrows, they just show the flow of all the instructions we'll look at in a moment. There's a bigger picture of their shapes for you as well. Okay, here's one example of an algorithm. You'll notice that at the top it has start and at the end it has end. All right, this example is for removing a book from a bag. Quite simple, isn't it? Yeah. So at the top you'll put this little shape, the rounded rectangle type one, to show that you're starting the algorithm. This rectangle here is for the process, and your process is opening the zip, so zip and open your bag. The next one is a little bit slanted rectangle. This is because it's an output, because you're taking that book out of your bag, and then that example ends. You can feel free to pause the video and read these if you want to. Another example, this is for picking a pen out of your pencil case and seeing if it's red or not. All right, so again, you always start with the shape and starting them in the text. Okay, the first process of this is to pick up a random pencil. So you're going to dig in your pencil case, find a random pencil, get it out, and ask yourself, is this pencil red? If it is red, you'll say something. In this case, you're going to say the pencil is red and end this task. And go back to the decision. If it's not red, you'll say the pencil is not red, and then you'll end the task there. All right. So this one has used all of the shapes really. So this one to start and end, and the rectangle for a process doing an action. This diamond type shape for asking yourself a question or making a decision. Okay, here are your tasks. The first task is just to fill in the missing words. Quite simple. And this task is where we have to make our own flowchart. You can either make this flowchart on paper or on this website here. So a few tips when making a flowchart, remember to look at these shapes here and use them. It might also help if you bullet pointed the tasks. For example, if we look at the task about opening and finding the book in your bag, the bullet points will be open the zip, find the book, take the book out, and then we turn these bullet points into a flowchart. Okay. If you're doing this task on paper, please just stop this video now and go and do that. If you're using the website, please carry on watching because I'm going to explain how we use this website to make a flowchart. Okay, so open the website up. There we go, there's the website, beautiful. You'll notice on the side of this website, you've got loads of little tabs here. We don't want general, we don't want this at all, get rid of that. We are looking for the tab that says flowchart at the side. If you click on flowchart, it will load up all the flowchart shapes. You'll notice there's loads of them. Don't worry, we're only looking at a few of them. All right. So, what does every single flowchart start with? Correct. A surrounded circle type thing. And in here, they call it a terminator. So you're going to click on this terminator and you'll drag it in. Simple as. And if you want to type in it, you just literally start typing. As this is the start of a flowchart, I'll just click start. I'm going to do this flowchart for, I don't know, putting your shoes on. All right. So you start this process. So to put our shoes on, we need to. What we need to do first? Pick up our shoes, don't we? So if we find the process shape, which is here, look, the process here, click it, drag it in again, and in here we can type in pick up shoes. Yeah. And to draw an arrow from it, we click on these little blue things here where it turns green and just drag it down and let go. Then that's connected to wherever you move this to or follow it. Okay, so first thing we do, pick up the shoes. Do we need to ask a question at all? So we might need to ask ourselves, are these my shoes? Are these the, So to do that, we'll use the decision block. Let's drag it in. Are these my shoes? Okay, you say, if they are your shoes, carry on. If they're not, go back. So to do that, we draw an arrow back to here. That is for a no decision. So if they're not your shoes, type no in there. If they are your shoes, we'll carry on. All right. So to carry on, we just need to, are they our shoes? Yes. Put them on then. Done. Yeah. So process again, this one. Click, drag it in, connect an arrow to it. You will need to type on this arrow. So if you just double click the arrow, he says, just click on the arrow and type. You type yes, because they are your shoes. In that case, put shoes on. All right. So now you put your shoes on. What's next? What goes at the end of a flowchart? Perfect. The end block, or the terminator. In here, drag that to the bottom, type end in there, and connect it up. Simple. Okay. Now you've got your flowchart. You need to upload this to the frog somehow. Okay. Simplest way to do that is screenshots this work. If you're using a Windows computer, which I'm sure a lot of you are, if you search in here for snipping tool, SNI, it should pop up. You click on snipping tool, you click new, and you'll just click and drag over the area you want the picture to be. So you'll save this as a picture. I'll save it as a picture. I'll save it as that. And then I'll upload that to the frog so your teacher can see it.